We roll on with 3-round mock drafts. Number 4, the New England Patriots, the first team we've had that is set at quarterback and can just take the best player on their board. We've already seen Abdul Carter go at 1, Travis Hunter go at 2, Shedeur Sanders go at 3. New England's on the board, and they got to protect Drake Maye. I'm Jeremy Green of ESPN Radio Asheville and NFLDraft.net, and this is a 3-round mock draft for the New England Patriots.
I get knocked down, I get back up.
The Sportsocracy.
New England comes on the board at number 4, and the world is their oyster. No, you don't get the best pass rusher in the class. No, you don't get Travis Hunter, but you don't need a quarterback. So whoever your best player on the board is, who you can take here. The highest-rated player I have on my board is Will Campbell from LSU. I think this kid can be an all-NFL, all-pro, Pro Bowl guard. I think he can also be a left tackle. I don't care about his arm length. I've already played this game with Rashawn Slater. I played this game with Peter Skoronski. Skoronski's been an okay guard. Rashawn Slater's been an all-pro level left tackle. I think Will Campbell's the same thing. New England has to take care of Drake Maye. Do I have Kelvin Banks as a better tackle prospect? Yes. Will Campbell's the better prospect of the two. There's no missing him. Worst case scenario, I have to slide him over to the right side, and I still have to address something on the left side. I don't think that will happen, but even if it does, I have a very safe floor. I know Will Campbell is going to be a high-level player on the offensive line in this league. Drake Maye needs help right now. Kelvin Banks is not a developed prospect. You can help the defense, but that does absolutely nothing for Drake Maye. I think the defense is already good. They just need some pieces on the offense, and you can add to that defense through free agency with the money that New England has. Number 4, Will Campbell, the best offensive line prospect in this class. It's just a question of, does he play guard? Does he play right tackle? Does he play left tackle? He will play somewhere, and he will play damn well when he does. Number 4, Will Campbell to the New England Patriots. Go on to their second-round pick, number 38 overall, and this is a kid that I absolutely love. I don't think he gets the love in the industry that he deserves. Elic Ayomanor, wide receiver from Stanford. Look, the stats are not going to blow you away with this kid solely because the quarterback play at Stanford has absolutely been terrible. So this kid kind of gets hidden until you really dive into the tape and start watching him. And I think this kid, Trevor Sikkema and I talked about this at the Senior Bowl. I think this kid can be a high-level number 1 receiver in the NFL. I get that the contested catch rate is not necessarily as high as you would want it to be. His grades are not as high as you would want him to be. He's not put up the crazy stats, but you watch him and he just always seems to be open. Now, his yards per route run is really low. The drop rate is not high enough for me to be overly worried about it, but it's also not great. I tie every negative I have about him back to bad quarterback play. Stanford hasn't been good. This is a kid that in an NIL age stayed at Stanford in spite of the fact he had other offers. If he had gone to a Georgia, an Alabama, an Ohio State, I think we would be talking about him as a top 20 player overall in this class. He's got a nice big frame. I don't necessarily think that he's a speed burner, but at 6'2", 210, I think he pairs nicely with what they already have and will give them the outside threat that Drake Maye needs. Number 38 overall, Elic Ayomanor from Stanford, wide receiver to help Drake Maye. They have 2 picks in the 3rd round. First one is theirs. There is probably no player that I have more discrepancy with other media members than who I'm going to pick at number 69. It's Donovan Jackson. I believe he's a guard. I understand he can play tackle. I also don't understand how anybody's putting him in the top 20 overall. That's insane. He did cover for Josh Simmons and play on the left side and play pretty amicably. I don't necessarily think amicably is not the word I was looking for. He did play pretty aptly on the left side. I don't think he's a stud. I also don't think he's a dud. For me, if I can add Will Campbell feeling like I have addressed one of my tackle spots, if I have Donovan Jackson, I feel like I've addressed one of my guard spots. These are 2 of the most ready-to-play offensive linemen right now. Campbell has a super high ceiling. Donovan Jackson has a super high floor. There's just no bust in him. There's no way that this kid's not going to, down the line, be a top 20, top 15 player at his position. I would say his high side's probably breaking into the top 10, but here at pick number 69, that's a decent enough floor that I'm not overly worried about it. I've addressed 2 offensive line positions and gotten a weapon for Drake Maye in my first 3 picks. Now I catch that Matthew Judon pick at 77 from the Atlanta Falcons, and I can take a player that's going to help my offense a little bit more. I go Cam Skattebo, running back at Arizona State. Look, I understand that this kid is not overly sexy. I understand that there's nothing about his game that is overly sexy, but he does everything really well. And he's a good pass catcher out of the backfield. He gives you a nice safety valve for Drake Maye. And I think he pairs tremendously well with Ramondre Stevenson, who's the between the tackles, bigger bruiser of the backs. Cam Skattebo is very, very talented. And I think had we seen him at a high level for more than 1 year after he was at Sacramento State for 3, we would be talking about him higher than we do. I saw him live and in person at the Peach Bowl. Texas bottled him up until they didn't, because as the game went on, he just got better and better and better and better. And Texas knew it was coming. They still couldn't stop him. I think he's a dynamic pass catcher at the next level. I think he's a great third down back. He just does everything well. He's a jack of all trades. I can't tell you he's a master of any, but to get him at pick 77, which was basically free money for Matthew Judon, who was largely irrelevant for Atlanta, that's a risk that I can take. It's another weapon for Drake Maye. It's another piece as I go to build out the offense. That's 4 pieces to an offense. Is it a lot of youth? It absolutely is. But it's 4 guys that are more senior type players. It's guys that have been around college football for a long time and guys that have played a lot of snaps. Guys that are very experienced and ready to play right away. I did my best as a Jet fan for the New England Patriots. If you like these picks, if you hate them, if you want to call me a jackass because I'm a Jets fan, feel free to do that in the comments. I answer all of those. We will do another set, 3-round team mock drafts after we come back from the 2025 Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. We will be there the entire week. Interviews with players. We'll be at the podiums with all these players, and we'll be watching the workouts live from inside Lucas Oil Stadium. And it's all building to our live coverage from Radio Row, 2025 NFL Draft, Green Bay, Wisconsin. We're going to Titletown, and we'll be there for every pick live. You can find it all right here on the Sportsocracy's YouTube channel and at NFLDraft.net. I'm Jeremy Green of ESPN Radio Asheville and NFLDraft.net, and I will see you next time.
I'm unapologetic. Cancel, yeah, you can try. You can't cancel what's been tonight. I ain't been had a shit, no silver spoon inheritance. Tired of trying to be what other people want me to be, and now you get what you see.